Hey everybody, so as you may or may not have heard, with the Morrowind patch, a lot of things are going to change, especially things having to do with sustain and in the champion tree points. So I'm going to do a test here to kind of show you the difference between what you can do on live right now and what you can do on the PTS. So this right now is my setup on live. I'm running Veladreth, Spriggans, and 5 Spriggans and 5 Night Mothers when I'm on my dual wield bar. So let's see, some max Magica or max stamina is at about 35k at the moment. For food, I just run increased max health and max stamina food. My Mundus is the Thief. And for my abilities, got Power Extraction, Killer's Blade, Surprise Attack, Relentless Focus, Camouflage, Hunter, Rend, Rearming Trap, Poison Inject, Endless Hail, Razor Caltrops, Siphoning Attacks, and Incapacitating Strikes on my bow bar. So I'm going to do a rotation on this dummy. I believe this is the 3 million dummy. It's the robust dummy. Either way, here we go. Alright, that wasn't my best rotation, but I was able to get 30,799 DPS on it in a minute 38. Actually, now I'm gonna try it with what I have on the PTS, which is a Stormfist. Yeah, with just Stormfist. But alrighty, so I'm gonna do one more attempt with this one. So yeah, so here we go. I got about 29k there. So as you can see by the combat metrics here, I can still do a lot better with keeping a lot of this stuff like at 100% uptime. This is definitely the best that I've done on my toon so far. But that's what I can do on live at the moment with some of the gear I have. So let's head over to the PTS and see how that changes, because I have to spec into a lot more sustain. So here we are on the PTS, and let's start talking about the changes that were made, mainly to the champion point tree. What you heard was right, they took away cost reduction on the tower. Warlord used to be the cost reduction to stamina abilities. That no longer is the case. Now the Warlord grants or reduces cost of break free by however many points you put into it. In the place it used to be, it is now Siphoner, which is more of a PvP ability, it seems to me. Obviously I haven't put any points into it because I don't PvP enough for it to be something I care about. Otherwise, Sprinter's still on here, so is Bashing Focus. Before Bashing Focus and Break Free used to be, I think, on the same node, I could be completely wrong. Either way, though, I put some points into Break Free, but I haven't really been needing to use that. I dumped all my points into Mooncalf for more stamina recovery, or at least 100 points to it, not all of them obviously, but 100 points into Mooncalf for stamina recovery, and I put 51 in Tenacity, which increases the magic and stamina your fully charged heavy attacks restore. And then finally I put like the last 27 points into Tumbling for dodge roll cost reduction. For the Atronach, there is a new node called the Master at Arms. This one increases your damage done with direct damage attacks by whatever amount of points you put in. I put 62 points into it because that's what I had left over after messing around with the other nodes, and I didn't know what else to put it into, so I figured, what the hell, might as well put it into Master at Arms. I put 27 points into Physical Weapon Expert. This one increases your damage done with light and heavy attacks for two-handers, one hand and shield, dual wield, and bow weapons. The reason I put points into physical weapons as opposed to what I used to do before is because I am light and heavy attacking a lot more on this patch than I was on live. So obviously that would be something I'd want to put more points, or some points into for this one. I put 51 points into Thaumaturge, however you say that. So obviously that one increases your damage over time effects. Put 30 into Precise Strikes. Since I am no longer running the Thief on the PTS, I figured I'd try to make up a little bit of the difference by putting some points into that. I don't have points into Physical Pen, which I actually have on live, and the reason for that is because I feel that Spriggan's giving me enough penetration at the moment that I don't need to put points into Piercing on the tree. And then on Mighty, I put 40 points. And I'm not sure honestly if I'll keep it at 40 or if I'll make more changes here and there, but that's what I ended up with. And then finally, on the red part of the champion point tree, my points are kind of everywhere. I really didn't know where to put any of them. So I put 51 into Ironclad, which reduces damage taken against your damage taken against direct damage attacks. Increase spell pen or spell shield, some points into resistance and armor focus. Though I think I will change that, but right now I just kind of have them scattered around. There's definitely a more optimal way to distribute these. I was just wasn't sure yet what to do with them, so I just kind of put them everywhere. So I got 51 in Hardy, 51 in Elemental Defender, and 27 in Thick Skinned, and that's about it for that. Otherwise, my armor is pretty much the same. I'm still running the 5 Spriggan and the 5 Night Mother's Gaze. There we go, 5 when I'm on my dual wield. And I only changed out the Stormfist epaulets on PTS. And abilities I pretty much have kept the same for the most part. The only difference is on my bow bar I changed out siphoning attacks, which I had to morph to leashing strikes because the new ability for siphoning attacks, or the new tooltip, it returns health and magicka, and since I'm a stamina build, that kind of doesn't do me any good, especially with the staying being as bad as it is at the moment. I went with leeching strikes, which restores health and stamina, but honestly it wasn't returning really anything that I thought was significant, and it just felt like a waste of a slot on my bar by having it there. So I took it off and I put Camouflage Hunter in its place because at least it would passively be giving my bow attacks an increase in damage. Otherwise, there are abilities that cost more now. Caltrops cost more than what it used to with having stamina reduction. So everything costs a little bit more to use than what it is on live. And because of that, I've switched out the Thief for the Serpent for more stamina recovery. As you can see, my stamina recovery at the moment is 2,260. That's definitely not what I have on live at all. I think on live I had like 899 or something like that. And as for food, I am actually using Berzorga's Trifle Pocket for max health and even more stamina recovery. So I've just gone full on stamina recovery as much as I can. The Spriggan ring jewelry, I have not changed out the enchants on them. I've just kept them as is. I know some people are running stamina reduction glyphs, but I've decided not to. So let's do this DPS test with what I got. So I did 26k right there, which, I mean, compared to what I'm doing on live right now, is like 4 to 3k, you know, 4 to 3k difference, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it definitely hurts for sure. So let me try that one more time. And I was able to do 27k right there. Unfortunately, I don't have combat metrics working on the PTS, but there you go. In a minute 51, so it's definitely taking me longer to kill the target skeleton than it is on live, but it feels like I'm slowly getting my DPS back up there. It might mean I have to switch out a different my armor for something else, but I've decided to just pretty much test what I have on me as opposed to trying to test out armor that armor that I don't have access to on live at the moment. But there we go. Either way, it takes more work to do the DPS that I was doing on live, and that's the only thing that's really, it feels like, has really changed, is that I need to work harder to even try to get to 30k like I have been doing on live at the moment. So it's a little bit discouraging, but I think with maybe a different set of gear possibly, maybe more optimal champion point allocation, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out what I can change to get back to where I was, or if that's even possible at all on this patch. Nothing's set in stone yet, but I don't feel like it's the end of the world. The content will still be doable. It might take a little bit longer on certain bosses, but it's definitely something that's still doable. DPS check bosses and on certain dungeons, it might be a little more touch and go, but so far this has been my experience on the PTS. It's not all bad. Definitely stamina DPS isn't the best, and it hasn't been the best in a while for PvE, but I'm gonna try to make the best of it, because I'm actually I'm stubborn. I don't want to get rid of my stamina DPS at all, especially not on my Nightblade. It's my favorite toon, and I will stick with her for as long as I can as this class. But that's the differences between live and PTS at the moment.